Welcome to Trail Chasers Season 3, a beginner's guide to trail running. Starting trail running can feel intimidating when you're on your own. Trust me, I know. But what if I told you that finding the right running group can make all of the difference? Having a supportive community around you can keep you motivated, help you improve, and make the experience more enjoyable. Today we're talking about how to find your tribe, connect with like-minded runners, and make your trail running journey even more rewarding. My guest today is the legendary Mike Obery, an ultra runner and community leader who has helped countless runners find their place in the trail scene. From co-founding Community Track Club to leading Must Love Hills, Mike fosters an inclusive and supportive running culture in Cape Town. In this episode, Mike and I dive deep into how finding the right running group can transform your trail experience. From staying motivated and finding a group that suits your pace, to overcoming the nerves on your first run. If you've ever felt unsure about where to start, this episode will help you take that first step with confidence. Mike, welcome to the Trail Chasers.
Boo, how long has it been? How long have we been trying to get onto the show?
Yeah, I mean, look, when I started this podcast, I had a short list of people who I wanted. And you were definitely quite high up there. So it's taken almost a year.
I'm so sorry. Here I am. I'm everywhere all at once. So I'm finally made it here. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Amazing.
I'm stoked.
We're doing things as you kind of picked up. This is a new season. Yeah, we're doing things a little bit differently this season where we're kind of doing a beginner's guide to trail running. To kind of get people into the sport. And this is actually our first episode of the season. Yeah, we wanted to kick off with a bang. And of course, I think on a journey, I would encourage people to kind of get involved in community as a kind of first step. And how we're structuring the interviews is we're going to structure it almost like a trail run. So every 15 minutes, we'll stop for a bit of a question and have a little bit of fun.
An aid station.
Yeah, an aid station,
Okay,
exactly.
cool.
Exactly. We've got beer, we've got
Red Bulls, got everything.
Yeah.
We got everything. Even coffee.
So, first of all, talking about trail runs and races and stuff, on the start line, what are you doing? How are you feeling? What's the energy like for you?
I think if you're talking about any races, for myself personally, I always attend the race with I know it doesn't matter what my coach says or what I say. I'm gonna take it easy. Nah. When you rock up to a race, it's full gas all the time, full send. So I think there's always, doesn't matter if I'm there for a 5K or 100 miles. There's always me that nervous butterflies when you're on that start line. Cool, what is gonna happen today? Or how am I gonna do? How am I gonna plan my race? Or how am I gonna execute the race? I think at the end of the day, attending any race it's a privilege. So if you're gonna be there, fucking give it a good. I am allowed to swear. Hey?
Yeah.
Just checking.
We've got a very good beeper in there.
Just give it your all and just have fun. I think that's the most important thing. So when you feel on that start line, even though you are you have those butterflies and a little bit of nervous energy, and it's good to have that nervous energy because it means you kind of respect that race. But also just enjoy it. And I think that's the most important part. So I think when I'm on that start line, always approach that start line with a smile because it's an absolute privilege to be there.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So this season is sponsored by Gilnockie Socks. And we got them to make a pair of socks, which looks like that.
Lekker.
And so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put you on the spot now, but at the end of the episode, I'm going to ask you for the 2 words that you would have on the back of your socks, anything. And
okay.
So don't think too hard about it, but you've got about an hour to kind of come up with something. Again, as I've said, without thinking too hard and without getting too deep and introspective, what have been the kind of the 5 most pivotal moments in your life that kind of have led you to this point? And can be running, can be life, can be...
Yeah, there's been a lot that's going on. There's an article coming out in a certain magazine later on this month or next month. And I actually I come from a background of drug addiction. So that's a very pivotal moment. And I had I was hospitalized between 2005, 2006, something I can't even remember the date, which is good. But I was hospitalized and had a machine breathing for me and fighting for my life because of drug addiction. I think that was one pivotal moment that turned my life around. Then after that, a couple of years later, I was diagnosed with ADHD, depression, anxiety, etc. And I was put onto a whole lot of medication by my psychiatrist. And I hated the way that made me feel. Actually made me feel like I was back on drugs, and it was concerning me. I needed to find an outlet and something to kind of like remedy and control the way that I was feeling. And my brother was running. He was doing oceans, and my sister was doing it. And I was like, I've always been a runner, but never the long distance. I hated long distance running back in school. I was a sprinter. Nonetheless, gave it a twirl, pulled on some tackies that I used to go jawl in, and ran 4 kilometers from the lighthouse to Milky Lane on the prom, giving away my age there. So it was Milky Lane. But I ran 4Ks, and how my knee was so sore afterwards, but the bug had bitten. And it basically went, you can tell I've got an addictive personality. So, I think it just spiraled out of control from there. Not out of control, that's the wrong word, but it spiraled from there in a good way. And I was able to channel my energy and my passion for sport and running and life into this sport which is now giving me so much back. Right? So that was the second thing. Definitely is that the diagnosis, and then finding an outlet from medication. The third thing would definitely be like, cool, lining up for races and then seeing cool, I'm not actually cuck at this sport. I can give it a go. I think racing my first 10 kilometer at UWC almost, 10 years ago, 2015. And my friends were like, you actually did a really, really good time. What the fuck do I know about times and stuff like that? I think that was pivotal moment number 3 for me. It's like, okay, cool, I can do this. Then pivotal moment number 4 was running my first trail run. I realized, holy shit, this is super just. So yeah, that was definitely, and it was Elgin Trail Run. It was still the Spur Trail series at the time, and I did 4.5 kilometers, and I rocked up there in my road running gear. What a noob! And I sent it from the get go, and everybody was just killing me on the climbs. But I was so engulfed in just the beauty of running trail. I think that was pivotal moment number 3 or 4. Pivotal moment number 5 was then obviously taking on the endurance run, so running my first puffer. Right, that was like, I really love big ultra running. Right, that's me. Like, it was just me alone in my fields and just pushing myself harder and further, faster than I've ever been before or ever done before. I think that was pivotal moment number 5. Number 4, and then pivotal moment number 5 for me was definitely running my first 100 miler and realizing that, fuck, I found my calling. Like, this is where I belong. I love the big long days. I love the fact that you can know that you're doing something that's never even thought of. Like, marathons are great. 1% of the world does that. Fantastic. But there's like 0.1% of the guys that are doing 100 milers and like really pushing them by, and then like trying to obviously beat those times, because I am a competitive person by nature. Competitive with myself. Like, how can I be faster? How can I be better? How can I increase my performance, etc.? So that was pivotal moment number 5 for me.
Did it feel like a kind of natural transition, through the stages, I suppose, at the time and now kind of looking back?
Yeah, definitely. I think I wouldn't say I got bored with running the shorter distances, but it was definitely like more like the transition was seamless, going like, I could do this. Like, I knew that when I signed up for the races, like, it scared the shit out of me, but I was like, I know what I'm capable of. And therefore, at the end of the day, like, the transition was smooth, and the training, because it's not just about the race itself, it's about the training that you have to put into to actually getting to that distances. So it was like, cool, getting to that 30 kilometer mark, getting to that 40 kilometer mark in your training runs, getting to the 70 to the 80 kilometer weeks, getting to the strength training, getting all of those done, putting in the hours. It's like, yeah, okay, cool, I'm fine. Niggles along the way, injuries here and there, little tiny setbacks, but his mindset is like, okay, cool, I know that I can do this. I'm capable of more, and therefore that made this transition seamless for me.
Did the running kind of replace the addiction in the beginning?
I think running is just addictive.
Yeah.
in its entirety, but definitely, I don't think that I replaced one addiction with the next, especially when it comes to drugs. I don't ever want to put the two in the same kind of like category, but it's definitely something that is, I don't know, I wouldn't say take my mind, because I don't even think about that stuff anymore, but it's more at the end of the day that, yes, it is an addiction for me, running, but it's one of those, it's more about giving back to, running is great, running is definitely an addiction, but also giving back to the sport that has given me so much and allowed me to be my true version of myself. That is the addiction for me. And building the community and giving back to the community, that's more addictive to me. That is more fulfilling. I think I would like to replace that word addiction with fulfillment.
I think one of the trickiest things with other than actually getting you here is actually finding a topic, because I think everyone I've asked for topic ideas, they've been like, this is the topic, you should get Mike to speak on it. So like everything from like coaching to to mindset to all of that. So if you have a business card and it underneath your name, what does it say?
Just fucking anything, bro. Jack of all trades, hit me up. I will find something. If I don't know the answer, I'll go fucking research it for you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be your number one. Mike Obery, your hype guy.
Yeah, I love that. What is work for you?
So I actually work for the city of Cape Town. I'm in grant funding, monitoring and evaluation. And basically I do... No, I can't say that on camera. But so I'm in the grant funding department, and in a nutshell, all the finance grants that come through to the city of Cape Town for various projects around the city of Cape Town, I'm basically the guy at the tick board, and I make sure that compliances are met so that the projects are running so there's accurate projects, accuracy is done. That's my 9 to 5 in a nutshell. It is a lot of fun, but it is pushing paper. So
obviously we're here to talk about community, and I think if you say kind of running community in Cape Town across the board, your name is definitely synonymous with it. Why do you think that is?
First of all, just on that, it's an absolute privilege to be associated in that regard with running community here in Cape Town. And it's definitely because a lot of people always say like Mike is everywhere all the time, right? And which is very, very true. I try and be there for the community and the running, and I uplift the community. So from group runs on Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings to weekly trainings on Tuesdays and Thursdays with my run crew, to starting run crews, to starting things with Eden, such as Community Track Club, where it's an inclusive space for everybody to feel like they are track stars, and breaking the mold of track is only for a certain type of runner, to a trail series where it's not about you have to line up, it's about an FKT series, finding something through COVID at the end of the day, and creating these inclusive communities, right, where everybody's welcome, because that's what running is. Running is a inclusive sport, and it's also a team sport. Whilst we do it individually on your own two legs, it's better to run with people. I can guarantee you that much, right? I'm at that phase in my life and in my training where I was like, I'd rather run with someone than go do a hard session. I love a hard session, but I actually really enjoy running with other people. There are some times where I go for my own training runs in the forest or something like that. I love trail running on my own because it's just like me and nature, but definitely on the road run because road run is cuckboarding. But having someone to run with is much better than talk a lot of cuck. And we have something on a Monday afternoon with the boys, and we call it Honesty Run, and it's just like, cool, we're here to talk about our feelings, you know?
I love that.
Yeah, and it's really cool, and it's just like an hour, the boys talking a lot of cuck, talking about their weekend, what's going on in their love life. You're not allowed to lie. If you get asked a question, you have to tell the truth. So be careful you pitch up on a Monday Honesty Run, because we will fucking grill you.
I love that. While you're climbing a hill.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, no, actually, you don't even climb hills. We're on the promenade, so we can make sure you talk. Okay. You're available to talk. It's zone 3s. But yeah. I think that's why I'm synonymous, is that I'm always with people. You'll find me everywhere. I just love running with other people and getting to know them. I love creating safe spaces. I love creating community runs. I love creating or bringing people out of their shell and just like making you feel like, I always say that being fast or when people say, "Oh, you guys are too fast," fast is relative. It's relative to you and your capabilities. And we're here for your fast. I want to see your fast. Go fast. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Time for first little break. So
sick.
Take me on a trail run. You hitting a really hard hill. Feels like it's never going to end. What are you saying to yourself to keep on going?
Walk, my bro. Don't be a hero. There's a long way to go. Okay? Yeah. If you need to walk, take a walk. There's nothing wrong with it. We are trail runners. Okay. Yeah. Get your poles out, clap a walk. Yeah. But also just don't take yourself too fucking seriously, Mike. It's okay. Yeah. If it's hard, the hills are supposed to be hard. Okay, so therefore you put your training in on a serious note. Like if you put your training in, the hills will be fine. Okay, and it's all about planning that today. So you've planned for this walk, go for it. Take your time. Rather use this walk or this hill to recover now, so that when you do come onto the strong section, such as maybe you're a strong descender or you're just a good runner, then capitalize on those, you know? Or if you're a real good climber and that's your strong point, then run your climbs. I think at the end of the day, that's really important. For me, I like climbing. I do like climbing. I mean, the name of the run crew is Must Love Hills, although it is a suggestion. It's not actually, we just left the question mark off the title. But Must Love Hills. So enjoy it, because you know what? It's part of the run, it's part of the journey, and it's not meant to be easy. So cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And, talking about community and why it kind of matters, I think a lot of people, when you kind of think of trail running, you really think of that community aspect. So why do you think there's such a connection between the two?
So my hypothesis on this is one of two things. Okay, we got really, really good trail running groups here in Cape Town, right? So we got Stelly Shakeout, we got Tuesday Trails, we got Chickswood Trails, we got Halpert Trails. This is a lot of run crews here who focus on trail running, and I think that's really great. And you also got to remember, this is Cape Town, this is South Africa. You'll be silly at the end of the day if you think that you running on the mountain is safe, especially if you're by yourself. Okay, so it's definitely a safety issue, safety in numbers. Okay, and I think that's where the whole community is coming around. And then let's not forget, we have some really, really great partners in the trail running community. Jack Black is synonymous. Who doesn't love sharing a cold one after a beer after a trail run with friends? So that brings people together. And I think it's just running in itself is just. It's so much better when you experience it with others and just have that one of that fucking, oh, this is rad, and the other person's also like, this is fucking rad, and maybe you're having a good send at the end of the day down the contour path of Newlands or whatever. And I just think that's where the community aspect comes from, and that's where it becomes synonymous with community and trail running together. And I think that's also experienced all around the world. We've seen it in the US, with people running in Flagstaff as big groups in trail running at the end of the day, and we've kind of like adopted that as well. And you see it all across the world, whether it be in Mont Blanc or even in the UK in foul running at the end of it. So you see it everywhere. I think that's what's really important. That's why it's become synonymous, and people love to train as a group.
Going to kind of like beginners getting into the sport, like, you often ask a lot of people what advice, and people say like the motivation and the consistency is always the hardest thing and the most important thing for beginners. Why do you think like group runs help with that motivation and that consistency in the beginning?
Simple, misery loves company.
I love that.
But I think it's nice to know that when you rock up, and if you are feeling like you're unfit or you don't belong, a little bit of an imposter syndrome or whatever it may be, there's other people there that's probably feeling the same way. That's a little bit shy as you, and you get to know people. I know so many people that have changed their entire friend group just from going for one trail run. Lifestyles have changed, and I think it's really healthy. It speaks volumes for the community that we've created. I always say this, like, people's like, oh, it looks intimidating going because you see all these runners. I promise you, it's really not. Yeah. People are so welcoming. Just a simple hello, and you've probably made friends for life.
Going on that, what do you kind of think the other barriers are for beginners? When it comes to starting running or starting to join a trail running group.
From joining a trail running group itself, for beginners, it's your own mindset, man. Just put it at the back of your head. You don't have to worry about pace. Maybe at the end of the day, it is about directions, especially with trail running itself. Like you don't want to end up getting lost and getting left behind and dropped, because then that safety issue becomes. But there will be someone that will come back for you. There will be someone that will hang on with you. I know that in my group, we have people that will hang back. We have a walking group on the last Wednesday as well. I know that Stellenbosch Shakeout has a walking group as well. So there's always someone on the trails. And one of the biggest things at the end of the day is try and learn the maps. Develop GPX files so you have it on your watch. Download the GPX files. Learn to use your technology. It's out there, And it's also okay to get lost. Especially like in something like I got lost thousands of times before I started learning, okay, this is where the fuck I am, And it is okay to get lost. And it's also a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But also be prepared. Like, especially if you're on a Saturday and you're up in Table Mountain and it's just like, fuck, where am I? Okay. Yeah. I have enough snacks for 5 hours.
And if you think of like the long term, like the runner's journey, what role does community play in keeping people kind of engaged for a long term, that it's kind of not just like a one and done?
Definitely accountability. We also, first of all, the consistency will obviously allow you to get better. and see improvement and stuff like that. And the nice thing about communities is I know that a lot of the trail groups have different pace groups, etc. And it's nice at the end of the day when you're starting with one group, and a year later you say, actually, I'm now gone up maybe 1 or 2 pace groups. So you see that improvement aspect as well, And then I think a trail group, and especially pace groups at the end, it keeps you honest, holds you accountable, so you want to keep coming back, and you make those friends at the end of the day. They're like, are you coming today? Yeah, I'm coming. The times when you don't feel like going, or it's pissing with rain, it's like, come, we're going, Thousands of times we've been out there in the absolute storm of it, having the time of our lives, And obviously when you wake up in the morning, you see it's like, nah, fuck this shit, I'm not going. But then you get that message, it's like, oh, fuck, now I have to go. Okay, because you don't want to be the oaks is like, no, I'm cancelling because it's raining. No candy floss here. Okay, you put your fucking jacket on, get out. You don't get sick from running in the rain. Okay, you get sick from staying in wet clothes. So go down, get in the rain, and then get into a hot shower. You'll be fucking fine. Also, I'm not a doctor, so don't take my word for it. Disclaimer.
I think one of the hardest things is finding the kind of right trail group, and I guess also talking about that, the pacing group. So what advice do you have for someone in kind of researching that, or, finding that right group, or finding the right pacing group? And
a lot of the groups will put out there at the end of the day, like if there isn't a slow group, or if, like this is going to be a faster group at the end of the day. I also think it's the responsibility of the person. This might sound quite fucking harsh, but I will say this. It's also the responsibility of the person to kind of like look at themselves in the mirror and say, I'm actually not the fucking hero, and I'm not going to keep up these people. And then what's going to happen is they're going to get dropped, and they're going to be like, oh, this was a shit run, and I got dropped, and these guys don't wait for you, and they're actually quite cocky. It's not like that, okay? There's people that are running a little bit faster, and you guys should have to respect that this is their run as well, right? So kind of know what your limitations are, kind of know what your capabilities are, and then go and do your research and be like, cool, I know that Tuesday Trails have 5 groups. I can fit into one of those 5, and then don't be like, I want to be in Racing Snakes. But yet at the end of the day, you're running a 2-hour 10K. Nah, brah. Okay? So be realistic with yourself, okay? And start slow. And then be like, actually, this run was too slow for me. I'm going to go up a notch. Okay? And then take it from there. I think people do it and be like, okay, cool, I'm going to try and keep up at the end of the day. And then they get left behind. It's like, oh, it was a shitty run, and they don't enjoy it. Or they like, oh, the community was cuck. Nah. Okay? It's because you haven't done your research. And then you also find the group that works for you.
Yeah.
So, and then, also don't be baited in by your friend. Okay? Don't let your fucking friend bait you in and be like, just come, cuck.
Yeah.
Like, send them off, you go into your group. Yeah,
no, that's a very important. Peer pressure is very big. Trail running beats up everything. Your legs, your lungs, and especially your feet. The last thing you need is socks that give up before you do. That's why I'm thrilled to announce that this season of Trail Chasers is sponsored by Gilnockie Socks. These aren't just your run-of-the-mill socks. Gilnockie socks are made for people who demand more. More performance, more durability, and more comfort. They're designed to prevent blisters with premium moisture-wicking materials that keep your feet dry no matter how long or muddy the trail gets. Plus, they're treated with HydroCool and Silver Plus, so they stay fresh, breathable, and ready for your next adventure. Since I started using Gilnockie socks, I haven't had to stop mid-run to adjust or worry about discomfort. They just keep working mile after mile, run after run. So why settle for socks that don't keep up? Visit gilnockie.com and use the code TRAILCHASERS at checkout for 20% off your first order. Trust me, once you try them, you won't go back. Your feet will thank you. Going back to the trail run, and I don't know if this applies to you, but if you're on a group run and the pace is faster than expected, what is the kind of secret to look like you're not struggling out there and, you're actually pretty strong? I don't know if it happens to you. Probably doesn't. But
listen, I get dropped quite often. A couple of weeks ago, I actually got dropped on my own threshold run by Bauchi and Henku. And I was like, this is fucking cuck, Oaks.
Yeah.
This is my run. You guys can't drop me on my fucking run. But don't be a hero, man. Like I always say, don't hurt yourself in training. Don't injure yourself in training. If you're getting dropped, fucking drop off. That's fine. Go to the pace that you need to be at. And it's okay to have bad runs. Right? You don't need to make excuse for it. It's part of the rules of threes. We need to have a bad run in order for us to have good runs and great runs. Okay. So if you do get dropped, fucking own it. It's lekker. Have a coffee afterwards and laugh about it. Because you're going to come back next week or the week after and you're going to fucking own that run.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I love that. And going back to kind of group runs, what are the kind of key benefits for beginners and why is kind of joining a group a must?
I think at the end of it, it's not really a must per se, but it's definitely advisable, because you do get to learn, especially when with a trail run, you do get to kind of learn, number one, trail etiquette, okay? What you kind of need, so from gear and stuff like that. And there's so much knowledge that needs to be shared. I mean, on my first trail run, as I said, I rocked up there in road attire, singlet, short shorts and road shoes, I didn't know about trail vest or snacks and that you can actually walk the hills and so there's a lot of knowledge that needs to be shared, so it's definitely advisable for you to join a group and kind of learn what it is that you need. And then obviously, as I've pointed out before, it's definitely about safety as well. So safety in numbers, learning the routes, getting to know like kind of what you're looking for, and then also learning about the trails itself, like sustainability of the trails, taking care of the trails and stuff like that, and how we can respect other runners and other users of the trails as well. I think that's also important. And then let's not forget there's also wildlife, what to look out for, what dangers, etc. And then, as I said, safety. So not only from just like being kind of aware of your surroundings and stuff like that, but also like if anything does happen to you, what to do in that situation.
Yeah, that's important. And obviously as a beginner runner, you're obviously not connected to the community at all. Where does one kind of go for this type of information? I
think the easiest way to find it is Instagram, man. It's the connectivity of our people. We can say of our generation. It's I don't think there is a group out there that doesn't have an Instagram account, and everybody posts about what they're doing, where they're going, and a lot of the groups at the end of it are very, very inclusive of what they do, of what they're doing, and they're welcoming. So just go into Instagram, go find it, do your research, just type in trail run in Cape Town. I promise you, like all the Instagram pages will just pop up. So,
and when a beginner runner comes to a group run for the first time, are there things that they should expect? Is it kind of a universal? Is every group kind of different?
I think every group is kind of different. They all have the different things they do, but there's normally a welcoming. I haven't been to a group run where there isn't a welcoming. I know with my Savills, we literally put up a hand. Who's new? Say hello. And then I brag about this all the time, but we're one of the most welcoming running crews they are around. We try to make everyone feel welcome, high five everyone, just talk to them, get to know their name. Very, very simple things, just make everyone feel welcome. So don't be scared. If you're looking at joining a trail running group, just go.
Own it.
Yeah, just fucking go.
And in terms of preparing for your kind of first group trail run, you did mention about kind of the GPX and things like that. Are there other things, that you should do or look out for, when preparing for it?
Yeah, nothing much that I haven't touched on already at the end of it, but it's again, like I'll reiterate, just know where you're going to be running and start off slower. Kind of just find out what kind of distances that they're doing. So, I mean, if you're running park run every Saturday and you're only doing 5Ks, don't go and now join the fucking 10-kilometer trail run, because you're going to cuck off. Unless you feel like cucking off, then pull in.
And are there kind of unspoken rules of kind of etiquette and things you shouldn't do when joining a group run?
I mean, don't fart in the first run, like get to know the people a little bit first,
Yeah.
But I think just know the common sense of like general trail etiquette at the end of it. Like kind of keep on the left-hand side, especially on the single tracks. Give way to cyclists, because we share the mountains, we share the trails at the end of the day. Don't litter, some simple things, Have some safety equipment on you, your space blanket, your blanket, your bandages, your whistle, if anything happens, Have emergency phone numbers. Let people know where you are, especially if you're running alone. But if you are in a group, I'm going with myself, I'm going with Stelly Shaker, I'm going with the Trail Leopards, we got this to do. So let people know where you are. And then also know good coffee.
Or good beer.
No, where to go good coffee. That's your in.
Yeah. For yourself personally, what is the energy like in terms of running with a group versus running alone? And when, do you have times where you feel like running with a group and you feel like running alone?
Yeah, so look, the energy is completely different. When I'm running with a group and stuff, it's electric. It's a lot of fun and it's more casual. But I mean, and I say casual and very lightly because there's times I've done with Bouch and Sky Clark and I'm fucking hanging on for dear life and I've got my lungs in my own hand, like trying to fucking squeeze oxygen. So it's electric, it's a lot of fun, and it can get, I like the group of people that I've done with, and I have many a group that I've done with, but it's like sometimes we're pushing, sometimes we're chilled, and it's also a very supportive group. I look at the 100-miler that I ran last year and training with injury and stuff like that, and I had a great community that were backing me and helping me, and that's how Honestly Run started. So that's group running for you. But I do enjoy a good trail run by myself where I'm able to just clear my thoughts, and it's just me and my run, and it's just me and the mountain, it's just enjoying nature. And I think that's more like it's me time, it's alone time, and it gives me time to put my own life into perspective and just kind of like reevaluate or realign my thought process. I think that's very important for me, who's coming from anxiety and depression, to have that times where I want to be out alone. Sometimes I do find at the end of it, like it's hard for me to get out there because I love group running so much. But I know that it's a necessity at the end of the day. And I know that it's something that I do enjoy, and I feel fucking phenomenal afterwards.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And in terms of training, you obviously follow a training plan. How do you kind of balance that with the group runs? And I suppose for a beginner, coming in, to not overdo it in kind of the group runs and focus on improving your running. Yeah.
So obviously having a coach and having a training program is designed for my improvement and my capabilities and obviously my goals. If you're going to be running with me, you're falling into my plan, Or at the end of the day, we're just not going to tell the coach and we're going to hide our run on Strava and we're going to go do what you want to do. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Don't listen to this coach. But yeah, it is, I think it is important. Like, yes, it's good to have structure, and especially if you're looking for improvement and performance, it's great to have structure, But also at the end of the day, it's good to have fun, because that's what it's about initially. Like, you got to be filling your cup. If it's not filling your cup, then you're not doing it right. I get massive enjoyment from performance, so it fills my cup to run on my own and follow a threshold run or a progression run or a fucking 5-kilometer hill climb. But if it's not filling your cup, then don't do it. Do what you're supposed to do, because running is fun. You're supposed to love what you're doing. I always say this: if you're waking up in the morning and you are absolutely dreading the fact that you have to go run, you're doing it wrong. You're fucking doing it wrong. So make sure that you're filling your cup. Have fun first.
Going back to running on the trails and group running, what is your kind of go-to conversation starter?
How's the weather?
That's the casual. That's the always, or how hard the run is.
Yeah. Why is this fucking hill here? Who put this cuck here? That's always like, now we're walking. Stop.
Yeah.
Are you? How's work? Yeah.
And then as we did touch on it, but coming into the group run, how do you kind of introduce yourself or make it known that you're kind of a beginner and, get over that, I guess, that a bit of intimidation?
Don't be scared to say this is my first trail run. It's the first time I'm out with trails, especially if you are a beginner or I'm new to this. Someone will help you. I just think at the end of the day, what you got to put like that whole thing aside of like, oh, I'm new and scared, intimidated. And it does look intimidating. And I know it's so much easier, especially for someone that could probably suffer from social anxiety or just anxiety in general, like how do you say hello? How do you start that conversation? But just don't be scared. I promise you, we're not a scary bunch. We're actually really nice people. We look stupid. And we look like intimidating, but we're not. We're actually a bunch of fucking nerds.
Talk to me about, I guess like friendships and things like that in a trail running group. How does a beginner, what role does like consistency play in, showing up and actually being there for the runs and building those kind of friendships?
Have you heard that saying that Cape Town's cliquey?
Yeah.
The only part that's not cliquey about Cape Town is trail running. Okay, so you will find a way to integrate yourself into the community and the group and the conversation. And it was about finding the conversation that just stimulates you. So if you listen to that people's conversation and talk about makeup tutorials, Lisa, Kevin, I'm talking to you, find someone else to talk to. Yeah, because that's your vibe. I promise you there will be someone that's talking cuck.
Yeah.
We have a Thursday morning tail run called Skinner, because we're there to talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Even though we run fast, so you can't Skinner. So
yeah. I love that. Yeah. Obviously, as you did touch on the social anxiety and the shyness, a lot of people obviously do suffer from that. And I mean, I guess the way is just to kind of do it, but is there kind of any practical, ways of kind of getting around it?
A simple hello.
Yeah.
A simple hello is that's all it takes. And I know it's super hard, but if you just allow yourself to say hi to someone will say hi back, and the conversation will start.
Yeah.
And you might just find yourself a friend for life or a loved one. I mean, I said hi to my wife at a run, and look at us now.
Tell me about that.
So yeah, I eyed her for a track, and I was like, "Oh, she's hot." And I always say that the conversation started because she slid into my DMs. She chased me, but it wasn't. It was the other way around, and just a simple hello. And we just started talking, and we found out that we both have the same passions, and we like the same type of things, Harry Potter and dogs, and so we connected, and that's how it went. Yeah, just spiraled. We haven't been apart since.
I love that. And obviously a big component, once you kind of start getting involved in the group running is that volunteer element, and events, helping out at events and things like that. So what is the kind of that stage of the development in terms of a beginner once you've kind of been to a couple of group runs and now, people are volunteering and what role does that kind of play?
Yeah, I touched on this earlier, and I think it's about giving back to the sport and the community that's given so much to me. You don't always have to be running the race to be part of the race at the end of the day, and it's just your way of paying it forward, and giving back to the sport, to people that have helped you before. We take it in turns, because you do need that aid station. You do need that marshal, just to help you on your run. And you know what? It's sometimes that marshal that aid station person that's going to be your savior on the race, because you know what? They just chucked a watermelon at you, a slice of watermelon or a peanut butter sandwich. Don't chuck peanut butter sandwiches at me, please. I'm allergic. It smells like cuck. And but yeah, they're going to be there. They're going to throw water over your head, just to keep you cool. They're going to give you a blanket or even a fucking reassuring hug to show that that's going to be fine. Everything is going to be fine when you're really in your dark spot. So it's your way of just giving it forward. I volunteer. If I can do it, fucking you can do it, It's just your way of giving back, and you can do it anytime. I know people that don't even race, they're just there to volunteer. I look at the people that park run. They're fucking heroes. Give up their every Saturday, just to be there so they can take your name so you can run a 5K PB. It's amazing to me that there are these kind-hearted people that would just do that and sacrifice their morning for you. It means the world to me. And I can't say thank you enough.
And do you think, obviously, having the benefit of it has pushed you more into doing it yourself?
Yeah, 100%. Seeing what they do, I want to give back.
Yeah.
I don't give back. I still think I don't give back enough. I would love to give back more, but I
do
love racing. I do love being on the fucking start line. Yeah. So yeah. But definitely, giving back is it's up there. It's not like, oh shit. It's you have to. You fucking have to. And I think that's the really nice thing about our community is that we do understand that, whether even if, you can't be there yourself, organize for someone to do it. Because I promise you, race organizers, they appreciate it. Like, fuck, I've gone out of my way to find someone that can do it.
And in terms of volunteering, how do you kind of recommend people go about it? Is it, as you say, just contact the race organizers, or
they'll find a spot for you and you'll learn. You will learn like that quick, And it can be something simple as just ticking a name off a fucking sheet, because it frees up that time for the race director, race organizers, or the people that are really doing other important things, and route marking and something. It frees up a space so no one has to tick that name off.
Yeah.
It just makes things work as a well-oiled machine. And yeah, people are really, really appreciative of it.
And what role does the group runs or communities kind of play in that volunteering? Is it kind of the event organizers will reach out to as a group and...
Yeah. I mean, we now have. I mean, you're sure you've seen it on many days, from UTCT to Batrun. They have special aid stations. Like, this is the Mustaville's aid station coming through at UCT, or used to be Strong to Run, with Ashraf Ali and the Plums and the Run crew at Puffer, and they take pride in that, because they want to be the best aid station. So that almost becomes a competition as well. And it's great to see that is the level of volunteering that we have in Cape Town, of people giving back their time to the point where we want to be the best agent. And I promise you, there's not a runner on that course that doesn't fucking appreciate it.
Yeah.
That doesn't appreciate it. It is amazing to see. it is so fucking, it's just like, wow, thank you. So yeah.
And as a beginner, I guess doing your first run or something like that, how do you kind of show that appreciation while you're probably deep in the pain cave and
you would never believe it, but a simple fucking high five.
Yeah.
A simple high five and a thank you. Whenever I leave the aid station, I literally turn it on at the end of the aid station, turn it on, and I just clap. And thank you fucking so much for this. And I leave. And off I go on my race. It's just show you appreciate in the smallest way. Sometimes they're not even looking at you when you say thank you, I think, because they're so busy with other people. But just, a simple thank you. Guys, it's not that fucking hard, right? And I know a lot of people that do it. A lot of people that say thank you. So whilst we are really, we are really appreciative and we do show that. And I think that's also very important, as much as the volunteering is important, to show your appreciation for the guys that are out there.
Yeah.
As a beginner, so yeah.
And as a beginner, obviously if you've gone to like a few group runs and you want to start getting involved maybe as like a leader or a pace setter or something like that, how does that kind of process? Is it kind of very natural and organic, or is it?
Yeah, I think it should be natural and organic. I mean, if it feels forced, it's like, okay. But I mean, yeah, I think you kind of like start running up front with the leader of the group, learning the trails and stuff like that. Maybe chipping with maybe let's try a different route and stuff like that. And then also going to run on your own, so you get to know the routes a little bit more. And then it's definitely it's an organic process. And I think at the end of the day, like group run or crew captains or organizers of group runs and stuff like that, we'll see, okay, cool. Here's Dean. Dean's been coming in for the last year. He's done most of the trails and stuff like that. That person hasn't picked up. Dean, do you mind taking the group? I promise you, you'll take it on and you'll just learn. And it's also, if you get lost, nobody will fucking know.
Yeah.
They'll just think it's part of the route.
Yeah, new route.
So just be confident in what you're doing. Like, when in doubt, just fucking turn left.
Yeah. And do you kind of recommend, finding a group and sticking with it, or kind of like, moving
I like
around?
exploring. So I think it's also personal preference.
Yeah.
Like I like exploring and going to visit different groups, having crew collabs and seeing what people are doing, meeting new people and stuff like that. But if you like your little group, fucking stick with it. No one's judging. You found your people, you found your home. So just as long as you're having fun and you're enjoying what you're doing, I think that's important.
And how important is that kind of social element of it? You did mention the beers and stuff, so ensuring that you kind of like hang around afterwards or go to.
It's not mandatory.
Yeah.
People have lives. People don't drink. People think, and if you don't feel like having a beer, it's up to you. But yeah, it really is cool because you get to know people. They say that running is the new golf, right? So, you can strike a business deal. Maybe it is you found a loved one or you like someone, so you're chatting them up or whatever it may be. But there's definitely that really cool social element behind running at the end of it. As I said before, it's not a solo sport. It is a team sport. So socializing after running has become a new craze. Having a coffee or croissant or whatever is really, really cool. And then off you go.
What's the most awkward moment you've had on a group run, and how did you recover from it?
Oh, that's really putting me on the spot now. I think I've never shat myself, so. But on a trail run, you'll often see me fucking quickly dip into the bush, But yeah, I don't think I've had a real awkward moment per se. A couple of dakes here and there, a couple of dives, but just get up and dust yourself off and go again. Yeah, I think I'm really, really good with directions. As I haven't got us like completely lost. So yeah, I don't have a specific moment per se, but definitely just quick diving into the bushes for a BK. Yeah. But yeah,
what is the etiquette when it comes to group runs and diving into the bush?
Hang back for a little bit, away from the and you go.
Yeah,
make it quick and then catch up. Where'd you go? I was always here. I never left. What are you talking about?
Yeah, know the route.
Yeah.
In kind of closing, looking back, at your journey. What is the kind of one mistake you see beginners make? Not only group runs, but across the board in terms of running.
Yeah, like I definitely think touching on it before, like maybe just going in a group that's a little bit too fast for you, because you kind of end up hating the run and trying to struggle, but also just not knowing the route and just. That's definitely one of the two biggest mistakes. Just not knowing the route, being in a group that's just a bit too fast for you and just a bit out of your comfort zone. I'd say for beginners, just make sure that you're comfortable at all times and kind of like know where you're going. A little bit have a general direction, but other than that, just hang back, just enjoy what you're doing. especially the first time, it's more about getting to know trail running and learning more about trail running at the end of the day. And maybe I'll get like a nice shoe. Nobody wants to end up with blisters at the end afterwards.
And if you could go back to when you first started running and tell yourself something, what would it be?
You're going to end up running 100 miler. Get fucking ready. Okay. Yeah. Don't think that it's going to stop at 10Ks. You're going to be pushing yourself. So, I think maybe one of the biggest things as well is do your fucking strength training from the get-go. Don't come 5 years into it and realize, oh shit, I need to do strength training. So strength training is super important, and rest and recovery. That's super, super vital. You don't need to do all your runs fucking hard. I think that was one of the biggest mistakes when I started running. It's like, I need to run fast all the time.
And what are the kind of keys for beginners in terms of motivation, especially when everything hurts in the beginning, to kind of keep pushing? How do you kind of keep pushing when it
gets better?
Yeah.
It gets better. I know that running is really, really hard because everything hurts, especially in the beginning. My first 4K, blisters, ITB, bang, 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 But if you just follow through, keep going through runs, start slow. You don't have to be running 5 times a week. You don't have to be running 80 kilometers a week. Start slow. Go for your 3 runs a week, 5Ks, walk. It's okay, right? Build it up gradually because you want to be doing this for a long time, right? Too much too soon and you're just going to hurt yourself. Injuries are going to leave you demotivated, So rather just start slow, build up your mileage, and then you can concentrate on getting faster, adding in a little extra run here and there, and then just do your strength training. That's my word of advice.
I guess, what is the most rewarding thing for you when it comes to kind of leading groups, but also running, across the board?
Just seeing the community grow and how we can give back. I think that is my takeaway from it. That was inspires me to keep doing what I'm doing here. And then just seeing how people progress, man.
Yeah.
See people come back, find that consistency, and then loving what they're doing.
Yeah,
I think that's important.
Our next episode is kind of dealing with coaching and, sort of a coach's perspective. We actually have Erin coming on and dealing with sort of a coach's perspective to starting out. You're obviously coaching yourself. What is the first thing you tell people when they come to you to get coached?
Number one, we are here for you're getting a coach because you want to improve your performance, right? So trust your process, trust the process. Know that your coach has got your best interests at heart, and also your coach's word is not the final word. It's a two-way street of conversation. How you're feeling. Coaches only look at stats and they know theories and what's worked on other people, but you're your own individual. So talk to your coach. Communication is key with your coach. The more information that they know, the more that they'll be able to coach you properly, build a training plan around your needs and capabilities. If you don't say anything, we just assume that everything is fine.
Going forward, what does the next year look like? 2 years, 5 years, bucket lists?
Yeah, so I've got 2 majors coming up this year in marathon, so I've kind of regressed. But no, I've gone back to road running for this year. So I've got Boston coming up in a couple of months, and then I've got Chicago at the end of the year as well, which is really, really exciting. And then I've put together, I'm not getting any younger, so I would like to do the 6 majors, and then the goal is over the next 3 years try and get as close to a 2.5 hour marathon as I possibly can. And it's the first time I'm putting this out there. So yes, it is getting to a 2.5 hour major, a 2.5 hour marathon over the next 3 years. And that's my 3-year goal, long-term goal. And then I've been in the lottery for Western States for the past 4 years now. That is my dream goal. So if that comes up in the next 3 years, then the road running will take a bit of a backseat as I start preparing for 100 miler again. Back on trails, but a big focus on the road for the next 3 years before heading back to the big focus of trail running and going back to 100 milers and the ultra runs. So yeah.
What prompted that kind of decision?
I want performance.
Yeah.
I want to see what I can do. I want to see what I'm capable of, and I think 230 is a realistic goal. It's a measurable goal. It's tangible. Thinking of myself 3 years. I'm 39 years old now. I don't have many more years where I can really send it as fast as I can, and I've got to work super hard to maintain pace because as you get older, you get slower. It's fucking natural, right? So now is the time.
Do you feel like a kind of beginner starting all over again?
I wish I could say beginner, but I've been doing this for 10 years. So muscle memory is key. Muscle memory is there. Even if I'm out for a couple of weeks with injury or whatever it may be, or niggles or fatigue or whatever it may be, I'm able to pick up where I left off pretty quickly. I'm able to regain my fitness very quickly. And I think I'm very lucky in that regard, that my body is able to respond to the stresses that I put it under. So yeah, positively.
And what advice would you give someone, going from either road to trail or trail to road?
Yeah, look, coming from trail to road, from trail back to road, know that the trail's made you a lot stronger, so you can run faster, push yourself, back yourself because of your trail running training that you've been doing, putting yourself under. And then from road to trail, mate, it's not road running. Concentrate, because you're going to fucking fall. Have your dentist on speed dial, because you're going to lose a couple of teeth if you fall in your back. But also at the end of the day, trust your abilities and just learn at the end of the day what you're good at, because there's 3 elements to trail running. It's not just switching off. You got to concentrate, because one wrong step and you can hurt yourself. So yeah.
And coming back to the beginning and the sock question, what would you have on the back of your socks?
So one of our mottos, Mastaville's actually partnered with Kilnockie Socks as well, and I think the 2 words that I would put on that thing would be one of our mottos or our slogans is never settle.
I love that.
Yeah,
amazing. Thank you so much. This was incredible.
Thanks for having me. Honestly, honored to be a privilege, and thanks for a really great chat. And happy days.
Thank you, and thank you for everything you do for the community.
Anytime.
Awesome.
Lekker.
Subscribe to the Trail Chasers today and ensure that you never miss an episode. And if you know someone thinking about starting trail running, share this with them. It might be the nudge they need to join you.